The Six-Day War was a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern history. It began in June 1967 and lasted, as its name suggests, for 6 days. The war pitted Israel against its Arab neighbors, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. In the years leading up to the war, tensions had been steadily rising between these countries. Egypt, under the leadership of Gamal Abdel Nasser, had grown increasingly hostile towards Israel. Nasser had formed military alliances with other Arab states and had expelled UN peacekeepers from the Sinai Peninsula. He then closed the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping, effectively imposing a blockade on the young nation. This action, seen by many as an act of war, was the final straw for Israel. On June 5, 1967, Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egyptian airfields, destroying most of Egypt's air force on the ground. This surprise attack caught the Arab states off guard and gave Israel a decisive advantage in the ensuing conflict. The Six-Day War had begun. The Israeli Defense Forces swiftly advanced into the Sinai Peninsula and the Gaza Strip, pushing back the Egyptian army. In just 3 days, Israel had captured the Sinai Peninsula, Gaza Strip, and the strategically important Golan Heights from Syria. Israel's victory was not limited to the south. In a daring move, Israeli forces also captured East Jerusalem, which had been under Jordanian control since 1948, along with the entire West Bank. By June 10, 1967, just 6 days after the conflict began, a UN-brokered ceasefire came into effect. The Six-Day War was over, and Israel had emerged victorious on all fronts. The Six-Day War had profound consequences for the Middle East. Israel's stunning victory resulted in significant territorial changes. It now controlled the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. These territories were not only strategically important, but held deep religious and historical significance for both Israelis and Palestinians. The acquisition of these territories dramatically enhanced Israel's security. The Golan Heights provided a strategic buffer against Syria, while the West Bank and East Jerusalem created a contiguous land area under Israeli control. However, the war also displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, creating a refugee crisis and further complicating the already intricate Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Six-Day War had a lasting impact on international relations in the Middle East. It led to the adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 242, which called for the establishment of a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. This resolution introduced the Land for Peace formula, suggesting that Israel should withdraw from the occupied territories in exchange for Arab recognition and peace agreements. The war also solidified Israel's position as a regional military power and strengthened its ties with the United States. However, it also fueled Arab resentment and led to the rise of Palestinian nationalism and resistance movements. The Six-Day War continues to cast a long shadow on the Middle East. The territorial disputes and political complexities that emerged from the war remain at the heart of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The events of 1967 continue to shape the region's political landscape and serve as a stark reminder of the challenges in achieving a lasting peace in the Middle East.